Joining us on the line now is Montgomery County Councilwoman Nancy Floreen. She is a Democrat at large in Montgomery County. And we wanted to talk to her today because of this story that we read about a potential pay raise for members of the council. A 17% pay raise that would move the salary eventually from $106,000 a year to $136,000 a year by 2017. Councilmember Floreen, thank you so much for joining us here.
Good morning.
All right, so are you for it or are you against it?
Well, I will tell you, I am moved that a community panel of interested citizens appreciates how hard we work. That's my reaction to the recommendation.
I'm sorry, you're sounding a little muffled there. I'm wondering if you could just back off the phone just a hair. So you say you're touched that a community group of people who look at this, a community panel, they are ones who made this recommendation, and they look at your work and they think you're vastly underpaid.
Well, they seem to think we need a raise, and I'm inclined to support it at this point. We'll see how it goes, of course. But I am, as I said, I'm moved that they have actually looked at how hard we work, how many meetings we have, how much we're responsible for. Our county population is greater than that of 6 states, including the District of Columbia. Mm-hmm. Our budget is of over $4.5 billion, and we have a very engaged populace, which means we have an unending series of public meetings and public hearings and communications that take a lot of time.
So you're saying you're moved by this citizens panel. Who picked the citizens to be on this panel?
Well, it's required by law that we have such a panel.
Right. Because,
of course, we'd be suspect if we did it on our own.
Sure. So who decides who sits on the panel?
Well, people apply, and we appoint them.
Okay.
I never spoke to them about this.
Uh-huh.
So I'm particularly impressed that they came to understand how much work is put in.
You work a lot, yeah. And the median household income in Montgomery County over the last 5 years is $95,000. So do you work harder than your average person in Montgomery County?
Well, I'm not going to put it that way.
But that is kind of what you're saying by accepting a pay increase of this level, isn't it? It's like you're making more than your average constituent.
Well, I'm making a lot less than a lot of our county employees. This is all part of the equation of life, is it not? And how do you value public service? Unlike some members of government in other levels, we actually make decisions, and we are accountable. We, make a lot of hard decisions every week. We need
Sure. Well, no, I'm trying hard not to compare you to county employees. I'm trying to compare you to employees in the private sector. The vast majority of people that you represent who are working in the economy that right now, frankly, is not affording people a 17% pay increase.
Well, I don't know. I suppose there's a chart out there that shows who makes what. I'm not here to defend the panel. I'm just here to respond to it.
Well, but let me just sort of bear down on this a moment. As a member of the council right now, you say you care deeply about public service, and I respect that. But you can also hold another job, can you not?
Well, you really can't. Well, of my colleagues, I think maybe one is able to generate.
Whatever happened to this idea of a citizen who works in the community and does your job, on top of a regular job? What's wrong with that idea?
Well, you can't, because I'm on call 24/7, pretty much.
24/7. How is that?
Well, the public meetings. I was out last night describing what we're doing on county zoning ordinance rewrite. I have a meeting at 8 o'clock this morning with some other constituents. It's unpredictable.
Well, I get that you
can't commit to something else that requires me to be available at a regular stated period of time.
Well, I don't deny that you put in a good day. I would never suggest that you don't work hard. But there are a lot of people who work hard who are not going to make $136,000 a year. Yeah. When did government become a career? When did government service, public service, become a career?
Well, you could ask that of members of Congress.
Oh, we do.
Oh, we do.
Oh, we do.
But they're not allowed to keep their part-time jobs.
Councilmember Nancy Floreen is our guest. She's an at-large member of the Montgomery County Council, and I appreciate you coming on with us. I really do. It's always good to hear directly from. I do want to me, this really is sort of a sticking point, though, with regard to how your role in government compares to those in the private sector. I mean, you have to admit that a 17% pay increase is going to raise a lot of eyebrows for people who are working every day in the private sector. They're on call 24 hours. I mean, they've got to respond to emails. They have to respond to their bosses late at night as well, just like you have to. And frankly, I mean, we talk about a lot of stuff the Montgomery County government does, and based on the calls that we get from your constituents, they think you're doing too much. In fact, they would like you to take a break and not do so much, and maybe that's the compromise.
Well, the beauty of Montgomery County is there are just about a little over 1 million people there estimated right now, and everybody has a different view, and as you hear from them, they're very engaged. And they deserve a response, and we try to deliver that response.
Well, would you agree that if you're going to be deserving of a raise, that you should have done a good job? And many people look at the transit center and say, "Not sure you did a very good job there."
Well, we are doing our best to exercise our oversight on that, as we do with a myriad of other things. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to find residents who say that we are not responsive and attentive.
All right.
They might not agree with how things are resolved.
Let me.
I do think they feel that we're trying to help them.
Can I float this out there for you, Councilmember Floreen? Because you recognize this is going to be a little bit of a political dance for you guys to be able to, accept this.
Yeah. Well, everything we do.
How about this? I hear you. Well, listen, you say that the people of Montgomery County, the voters, are engaged. Well, why not put this to a vote? We got an election coming up. Put it on the ballot and let the people who are so engaged, let them vote on your pay increase.
Well, the structure of Montgomery County government is that these things are decided before there is an election. So, in effect, there is a referendum on all of us every 4 years.
All right. Well, that's interesting. I'm sure a lot of people will be taking that in consideration when they cast their ballots.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us, as always.